Hey everyone, this is Brian Whittington with the Talent, Sales, and Scale Show. I'll tell you, I've been really looking forward to this conversation for a while. Today, you can see her book here. She is a Vistage speaker, world-renowned, 17 years figuring this thing out, likely 5, probably 17 years ahead of everyone else in this virtual world. So we have Kathleen Quinn Votaw. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Brian. I'm excited to be here with you today.
I'll tell you, so talent is a key, right? So our belief is that your competitive differentiator, your competitive advantage is no longer technology because people can catch up. It is no longer pricing because I can cut you on price. It is no longer location or anything else. It really boils down to team and execution. And this is such a topical conversation right now with everything. So I'm really, really excited to jump in here. So for those listening, the topic for today is really virtual employees, engagement of those employees. We could talk hiring, we could talk recruiting, who knows where this goes, but that's going to be the premise of the show. So with that said as a backdrop, and Kathleen, why in the world should people listen to you? I mean, what gives you your expertise around this area?
Well, I've been around the block for 54 years. It's my 54th year. So I have a little bit of experience. Started in the recruitment industry in 1985 with Kelly Corporation. They hired me while I was in college. I learned so much from mentors there, Eileen Candles, and then went on to work for a small boutique firm in Boston and learned from people like Ronnie Mostyn. Olston Corporation was another great corporation that no longer exists that I worked with. And you know you're getting a little old when companies you work for no longer exist. And also I've been an employee and I've been an entrepreneur. So I've walked in both people's shoes. And so my journey, I really enjoyed my years as an employee, but I was always a maverick, Brian. I didn't quite fit. I wanted to do things a certain way. And companies have a lot of rules, regulations, guidelines, and we don't tell each other the truth. Have you noticed that employers and employees they don't tell each other the truth, exactly what's going on?
Yeah, I always say, whenever I'm interviewing people, I always say, listen, I don't want the interview answer and I'm not going to give you the candidate answer, right? It's you campaign one way, and then once you're elected, you realize who the true person is. So we don't look to do that. So I couldn't agree with you more. You see that all over the place.
Yeah, so I've worked for Fortune, 500 companies. I worked for small companies. I've been an employee. I've been an entrepreneur. In the last 17 years, what I've learned, and I've evolved every year, and everyone who's worked for me, every client has contributed to who I am today. I constantly challenge myself. I challenge the status quo, and I learn. I'm really a lifelong learner. So nothing's ever exactly as you expect it to be. Things change. We've learned that a lot in the last 17 weeks. So I think people should listen to me, Brian, because I've built a company. I'm one of 2% of all women who've broken through the $1 million mark.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks. I've been recognized by Inc. 5000, which was really amazing, 2 years in a row. We still have a thriving business, even in the midst of, some challenges in our country. And I, love people. It is my subject matter expertise. Yeah. I love people. And our message to companies is if you put people first, everything else will follow.
So let's get into that, right? So if we put people first, so how's that work, right? I'm the business owner. I just want you, and I'm going to point my finger for the screen there. I just want you to show up and do your job, right? That's what you hear all the time, or the customer comes first. So you're suggesting that people come first, and I'm guessing people, you mean your team members, your employees.
All people, not just team members. Okay. It's really all people. It's the relationships you have with people. So people representing your brand, the employees, if they are not engaged, which is an overused word, or if they don't even like you or like what you do you think they're going to treat your customers well?
Right.
So I talk a lot virtually and in person, and driving a truck is just driving a truck. You're driving a truck, right? You have a lot of things in the back of the truck. You can't change driving a truck.
Right.
But what you can change is the relationship between the hiring manager and the employee. What kind of equipment do they have? Do they have a clean work environment? It's all a matter of respecting the human that is actually representing your brand to the world. It's also not tolerating customers who treat your employees with disrespect or disregard. Also not tolerating other employees who are mediocre. I have found in so many companies, we just kind of suffer in silence. Well, that's just the way Brian is. I can't do anything about it because you know what? I don't have anybody to replace them.
Right.
What does that say to your employees about respecting the people who are coming in early, who are going above and beyond, who do love your brand? So it's really about not just one audience, it's all audiences. It's all audiences. And Brian, that's why this is hard.
I was just going to say, so how do you do that? Because there's friction on every single one of those, because you're talking internal customer, external customer, you're talking about process improvement. And now, how do we create team virtually? So let's break all of those up. So let's talk first. And most people who keep relationship or keep people first don't know accountability. But you said people first with accountability, people first with execution standards that will not be tolerated to be substandard. So
Absolutely.
how do we balance those two?
So you've probably heard a lot lately about business continuity. That's kind of a sexy phrase that's out there right now. Well,
Yes.
I believe it's people continuity. People continuity equals business continuity. So here's how you can take some steps. First and foremost, start listening to your most important customer, which is your employee. They will tell you who you are, whether you like it or you don't, because they know your unwritten rules. They know when to talk to you, when not to talk to you. They know the non-negotiables of the organization. They know the clients. They know when they can do things, when they can't do things. They know you. They'll tell you who you are. And you might not like it at first, but then knowledge is power. You can do something about it. And not for 1 minute do I suggest that we as owners, because I'm a business owner too, we are not slaves to our employees. We do not have to build our company just for them. We have to build it for ourselves too. So knowing your values, your attitudes, your beliefs, and making sure people come into your organization that are in alignment with what you're trying to achieve. It's that alignment that is so important.